Where is my family? Asked Mum. Who is my family? Everyone has their own private lives, and they're slowly changing, and they're coverizing something, and they're moving away. They're becoming strangers. And they look at you like a stranger. Like, oh, you've got Alzheimer's now. You're not the mother that we knew. And the mother that they knew hasn't gone anywhere. It's they've left the room, not her. And she can't believe it, that she's dedicated her whole life to family. But her family sells her off.
Silliness. Greetings in the name of the Most High. 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 And any derivation thereof. Okay, when people are first learning about the gang stalking and, they're getting it because they're either with the Lord or about to be with the Lord, or it's coming from a demonic place, because that level of organization does not exist really. I mean, there are police outfits and so on that can do this kind of stalking, or there's neighborhood watch stalking. There's all kinds of things like that, where people talk and commiserate and they gossip and they stalk. But you have to understand, the spirit they're operating under is more of a hive mind, demonic spirit, and it goes something like this. This is the reason it exists. This is how it exists. Okay, so you're a bad person, though you've done nothing wrong. But because you've done nothing wrong, you're a bad person. Okay? The number one axiom here: you're a very bad person, and because you have done nothing wrong, you must be abused, and that's the right thing to do because you're a bad person. And the fact that you haven't done anything wrong is fueling the fire against you. Fueling the fire against you. Wrong meaning, malign the neighbors, stolen, born false witness, been anything but it's typically the good people that get, to get this treatment. You've kept to yourself. You haven't really done anything that should alert anyone to any kind of, stalking issue. Now, but that's not who they're going up against. They're not going up against you. They're going up against what you represent. Say the good. Say the light. Say the spirit that is animating them knows what you're going to do, and knows how the effect you will have, and knows if you're a threat. So they're going to assign these hives to you. And though you complain you've done nothing wrong, they're going to double down on it. And if you complain or say, ouch, say this to someone yesterday, if you say ouch, therefore I have to punish you again. you see. And it gets rolling like that, and it involves everything from, false witness, you're the bad guy, you're the justifying sabotage of your vehicle, causing accidental death, being sensitive, driving, gaslighting, in other words, to say you're trying to do something, making sure that there's so many obstacles that you can't function anymore, driving you to suicide, self-doubt, victimhood, feeling like if those people just leave you alone, you could just do your job, you could succeed, but you can't because they're throwing everything in the way to stop you from just being able to live a normal life. Now piling on with invisible weapons, and we don't know who the perps are, and you're feeling like an experiment, like a victim, and then eventually the whole point of it is for you to give up and then kill yourself. That's the goal. While on the way down, they steal everything you've got. That's the secondary goal. And it's just basically kind of almost like a law of the jungle. I mean, the demonic power that gets in there is a hive mind demon. That is the same one occupying, giving all the people involved the same exact thought at the same time. Now, they know that demon's there and they obey it. Because if they don't, then they're going to get punished themselves. So they have to. No one admits it's going on. No one admits that level of synchronicity is happening. That level of coordination is happening. But it is happening, and it could not happen unless they had forward knowledge in time of what you will and won't do so that you may be predictable so they can get out ahead. That can only be done if there's a breach in the time-space continuum, which means we're no longer in the realm of just human here, which proves my point. There's only one thing you can do if you're a person that, if you want to remain functional and doing whatever the task the Lord has for you to do, or your job, or some endeavor that you want to do, maybe it's a podcast or create something. If you want to continue to be a viable person and make a contribution to society, then the only way through that wall, it's a solid wall, because it doesn't start here with people, because you can travel 100, 1,000 miles away and that same wall will be there waiting for you. So they laugh about this. They think it's funny. These people are, they're witches, covens. The occultists are all about this. It's all they do all day long is this kind of stuff. Doing spells and rituals, throwing spells, rituals, demons, sending demons, etc. on people. Hive mind stalking. Usually people are afraid of the local witches, what they'll do to them, so they cooperate. And they do, their thing of, moving your mail, coming in and moving your shirts into another closet, then leaving, you know what I mean? They control all the, pretty soon they have total surveillance. And then they just want to fuck with you until finally, you're destroyed within and without. And this is their war against God. This is their war against you. You're obviously an intact human. You've never been in part of any kind of witchcraft, covens, occult. It's just not your thing. And if you are, then you never were really welcome. You're still a guest. Watch out for that word guest. If you come into a situation where there's a lot of them and someone says, the guests are here, you better believe the trouble is up. They're conspiring trouble. They're preparing to do something. And it's not just the human. You have to realize it's in concert with. There goes the flickering light. Okay, so yeah.
Gaslighting. Okay, I've been thinking about gaslighting. I was actually thinking about it as it, pertains to my mother's case and what happened to my parents, and what happened to me. And then I saw a YouTube clip from Zeph Daniels. His latest clip talks about gaslighting and the hive mind and the gang stalking. And that's a really interesting podcast. And so, that really got me thinking. And then I came across this TED event with a writer, woman named Ariel Levy, and it's called How to Deal with Gaslighting. And I just want to play you this to begin with.
Right now, the world is experiencing what I experienced every day as a child. There is chaos, there is confusion, everything is upside down, reality is being canceled, and nothing means anything. The term gaslighting refers to when someone manipulates you into questioning your own sanity. It's a term we are hearing a lot of right now, and it's a term I'm very familiar with. People are perhaps confused with how to manage and to cope with the situation, and that's where I can help. When I was in my mid-30s, I had a meeting with my editor, and it was my first major journalism assignment for the Sunday Times magazine. I'd gone to meet him for a drink, and I was feeling hopeful. I was feeling like things might work out. And as I was leaving, another writer arrived. This writer recognized me from when I was a child, and he said, "Are you so-and-so's daughter?" And I replied, "Yes." And he had been a guest at one of my mother's dinner parties. After I left this meeting, my editor told me that he had said, "Oh, I always wondered how that little girl would survive. I had thought her only chances were suicide or murder." When he told me this line, I felt validation, because here was this person who had actually witnessed what I knew to be true, and it confirmed what I knew. It's total bombardment.
It was total bombardment.
Total bombardment. Total bombardment.
It was total bombardment. It was total bombardment. After my mother was inducted against her will into the Holy Spirit Croydon Catholic Healthcare, sold like a slave at the end of her life, her husband, her carer, her daughter, her family, her money separated from her. It was total bombardment. And this is just one little journal which documents the bombardment that my mother was subjected to. It hurts to talk about. I'm just glad I wrote it down, but nobody reads it. This is just the book of Gwen too. There's actually 6 books. When the Holy Spirit Croydon took my camera away from me and wouldn't allow me to have my camera in there, or even a cell phone, right? So I couldn't video the bombardment, the neglect, the abuse of my mother, Gwen Kennedy, anymore. I started to draw pictures. So some of the diaries I've got, they're just pictures with quotes from Mum, because, I listened to her. And when she told me what she was feeling, I didn't deny her reality. I had witnessed her reality. I had her reality on video. But, that reality then has me bombarded, right? Because they don't want to hear what the victim is going through, and they certainly don't want to see it. And they certainly don't want to see their gaslighting stratagem in living colour, haunting them on YouTube. once a week.
So the following morning, what would happen is I would confront her about the situation, and it was as though this disruption had never happened. What I thought had happened, I was being told had not happened, and that I was making a big deal out of nothing. If I confronted her with the facts, they were batted away. I was sprayed with words of adoration and words of contempt. You're a stupid idiot, and I wish you had never been born. When I confronted her about having said this to me, I was told I was making it up and that it was a lie.
When I confronted Catholic healthcare through extensive letters, right up to the chairman, I might add, with the abuse, neglect, exploitation, sexual, financial, how much, exploitation can you report on without making yourself sick every night? But, I was hoping for resolve. They were, after all, Catholic healthcare. Is that a dove as their symbol? They're hiding behind the Holy Spirit. They've put an ABN number on the tail of the Holy Spirit, and they're using that front to traffic my parents. So I had a few problems with that Catholic healthcare. But when I reported, I was punished. If you continue not to obey the conditions of entry, then these restrictions on your access will be further reviewed. We have advised the principal guardian. So this is the corpocracy, the corporation, the Catholic corporation no less, working in with the state. Is this not Agenda 21 in action? Do your research and get back to me. We have advised the principal guardian of these further restrictions, and she, it's always a she, has indicated her support for these arrangements. Again, Miss Kennedy, I urge you in the strongest possible terms. They just speak to me like I'm some knocked up brat in their Magdalen laundry. They kidnapped my mother. They've abused her, stolen her money, separated from her husband and family, and given her, just made her, dead in the law. And they have the gall to speak to me like this. Again, Miss Kennedy, I urge you in the strongest possible terms to comply with the requirements set out in this letter. Yours faithfully, Maria Hammond. You belong in jail, Maria Hammond, for what you've done to my mother, Gwen Olive Kennedy. But you'll never go to jail, will you? Because you have the Guardianship Tribunal of New South Wales on your side. And you have the Justice Department on your side. Okay? Dear Miss Kennedy, this is from the Public Guardian, and she doesn't even get Mum's birth date right. Dear Miss Kennedy, as you are aware, the Public Guardian is Miss Kennedy's guardian pursuant, so it's like I own your mother, right? The Public Guardian has been authorised to make substitute decisions in the area of accommodation, so I own your mother, including a coercive function. Isn't it a crime to coerce old people? Right? Oh, not if you're the Public Guardian. Not if you're part of the justice system. Do you understand how this gaslighting, gang stalking is now systemised? It's not some sort of amorphous, sort of metaphysical thing. It's actually real. It's here. It's in the documentation. This letter is to express the Public Guardian's concerns about your actions of uploading further videos of your mother on YouTube. And on one video, you also captured another resident who was masturbating outside her door after I'd given her a shower. Please help, Public Guardian. But no, she's on the side of the demented masturbator, right? And violated his rights to privacy. So much for my mother's rights to privacy. Can you see the joke in this? It's a tragic joke, though. My mother has suffered extensively. To this day, the Public Guardian requests that you remove the video footage currently on YouTube and that you refrain from uploading any further videos involving Mrs. Kennedy. If you wish to speak to me in regards to any concerns you have, contact me on 9287-7660. Yours sincerely, Sylvia Heidenreich, Principal Guardian and owner of your mother. Now, while we just allow everyone to steal her money.
It wasn't just that my reality was canceled, but my perceptions of reality were overwritten. And one of the most insidious things about gaslighting is the denial of reality. Being denied what you have seen with your own eyes and you know to be true. Being denied an experience that you have had and you know is real. For me, the erasure of the abuse was worse than the abuse. So it can make you crazy, but you are not crazy.